Story 1. The Light in the Sky. I never gave much credence to tales of the unexplained. It's never really been my thing. That all changed about 2 years ago. What seemed like any other ordinary drive home turned into something completely different and changed my life forever. It had been a long Friday, dealing with back-to-back meetings, troubleshooting project issues, and weathering the general grind of corporate America. By the time 8 p.m. rolled around, my brain felt like mush. All I wanted was to drive home, have a beer, and lose myself in some mindless TV. My drive home has always been the bridge between the pressures of work and the comfort of home. A 30-minute stretch of isolated road, lined with dense woods, and the occasional glimpse of the starry sky above. That night, as I was making my way home, a flicker in the sky caught my attention. At first I thought nothing of it. Maybe it was just a plane or perhaps a satellite. But as the miles rolled on, I noticed it wasn't just moving across the sky. It was following me. Its trajectory eerily mirrored my every twist and turn. I tried to dismiss it, but deep down inside, I knew something wasn't right. I came around a corner and started slowing my car to turn into my driveway. That's about the time that I lost track of it. I honestly felt like whatever it was gone. But my relief was short-lived. As I began the turn into my driveway, a light, so overpoweringly bright, engulfed everything. It was as if night had suddenly turned into day. It's really difficult to describe just how bright this light was. The next thing that I can remember is that I found myself standing in my bedroom. I was just standing there, facing my bed, disoriented and confused, with a really loud ringing in my ears. I felt like I was beat up. Just a general feeling of discomfort all around. My clothes were a mess too, like I had just thrown them on but not adjusted them. What really freaked me out though was the clock. It was just after 11 p.m. How could that be? I left work at 8, and it only takes 30 minutes to get home. Where did the other 2.5 hours go? Feeling exhausted, I laid down, clothes and all, and just passed out. The confusion didn't stop there. The next morning I went into the kitchen to get a drink of water. As I looked out the window, I could see my car. It was at the end of the driveway by the road. What in the hell was it doing way down there? I walked down the long gravel driveway to retrieve it. It was unlocked and still had the keys in it. It wouldn't start. It was completely out of gas. It's like it was just sitting there all night, running. I walked back to the house, called my friend Mark, and asked him to bring me a tank of gas. "I'll just tell you about it when you get here," I remember telling him. When Mark arrived, I told him everything. I told him about the light, the confusion, and the lost time. Unlike me, Mark has always been into weird and paranormal things. He didn't hesitate. "Bro, it was a UFO abduction." At first I dismissed the idea, but as time has passed, I think something in my subconscious has been telling me that he may be right. Over the last 2 years, Mark has repeatedly suggested that I go see a hypnotherapist or something. Up until this point, I've resisted the idea. Will I at some point in the future, though? Honestly, I don't know. I think part of me really wants to know what happened. A larger part of me, though, I believe, would rather leave it left in the unknown. Story 2. My terrifying experience with the ghost truck of Clinton Road. The summer of 2002, right after our high school graduation, my friends and I had a list of adventures we wanted to tackle. One particular dare was to drive down the infamous Clinton Road in New Jersey, rumored to be the most haunted road in America. There were 3 of us, and we set off a little after midnight. The first few miles were uneventful. The road was infamous for its sharp turns, and as my friend Jake navigated a particularly curvy stretch, we noticed it. A set of bright headlights in our rearview mirror, approaching fast. I remember Jake, who was driving, saying something along the lines of, "There it is," and then us laughing. But within seconds, a truck was tailgating us. Its headlights were so bright, they filled our car, making it hard for us to see. "That guy is in a hurry," I said, not even registering that it could actually be what we came to this road to see. I mean, we didn't actually think that we'd see something. Finally, my other friend Ryan joked, "Maybe it's that ghost truck." At this point, though, nervousness was starting to settle in. As Jake pressed on the accelerator, so did the truck. It stayed right on our tail. Silence now filled our car. The jovial mood from earlier was gone. Suddenly, the truck revved and swung to our left, attempting to overtake us. But instead of speeding past, it drove parallel to us. The truck, the windows, and everything else was pitch black. No silhouette of a driver, nothing. I was really getting nervous now. "Turn off somewhere," I said to Jake. But there was nowhere to go. The road was bordered by dense forests on both sides. Our best hope was to reach the end of Clinton Road. Then the truck did something unexpected. It sped up, going ahead of us quite a ways, and then stopped sideways, blocking our path. Jake skidded to a halt. At this point, we're all in a mess of a panic. The truck turned, and we were once again sitting in the blinding lights of its headlights. "We gotta get out of here," I said to Jake in a panic. Without warning, the truck's headlights went off. It was gone, disappeared. Jake made a U-turn. We couldn't see the truck anymore, but we didn't want to wait around. Jake drove like a man possessed. The curves and turns we had navigated earlier seemed even more dangerous now. "What was that?" "Where'd it go?" Ryan asked, his voice trembling now. We didn't have answers. We only knew we had to get as far away from Clinton Road as possible. Jake was driving with a sense of urgency now. "Hey man," I said, "be careful, this road has sharp..." And before I could complete my thought, we were blinded again. The headlights were back. This time they didn't drive up. They just appeared, like out of nowhere. They were right on our tail, and they were swerving back and forth, back and forth. At this point, we were absolutely terrified. We were yelling and screaming. Just as I thought that we were about to be overrun, the end of the road came into view, and the headlights vanished into thin air. We reached the end of the road, and Jake cut the car over onto the next road. After what felt like an eternity, we saw the familiar sight of the town's lights in the distance, and relief flooded us. Pulling over, Jake put the car in park, and we all sat in silence, trying to process what had just happened. Ryan, usually so buoyant, looked pale, his usual humor gone. Finally, Jake spoke up. "That wasn't a normal truck, you guys. That road is haunted, and we just witnessed it." I nodded, my skepticism washed away. "You're right," I said, "but we're safe now, and that's what matters." Word about our night on Clinton Road spread fast. Some believed us, others laughed it off, but we knew what we experienced, and none of us have ever ventured near that road again. Thanks for tuning in to another episode from the Alley of Nightmares. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Until next time,